would not be able to sleep as an American.
What type of stuff was in that?
Well, gutting all of the social programs, as he has been doing. Just the other day, he disbanded the Department of Education. And I have a child who has autism, and that child will be denied services, and many, many autistic children, because the funding for these programs for special needs children comes from the federal government as well as the states.
And what she's saying is not necessarily true. Welcome to the DeMarkco Effect, where you get the full effect of me. If y'all don't know who this is, her name is Rosie O'Donnell. She's a comedian, and she's a talk show host. I don't know if she still have a talk show right now, but she's a comedian. She just moved to Ireland. So she left the United States and moved to Ireland. Okay. With the Department of Education, they have spent $45 trillion, $3 trillion over 45 years. So the Department of Education, they passed a bill in 1979 for it to be in use of May 1980, right? So the Department of Education has been going on for over 40 years. And what it has done for our children is test scores is lower. Children cannot read and write at the level that they're supposed to be. You know, there's a couple of kids that they're doing okay, but nationwide and worldwide, our test scores are lower than they used to be. And it's exponentially, it's getting worse. It's getting worse for the United States. What they did by dismantling the Department of Education was essentially to say, hey, we as the government are not going to intervene. We're going to leave it to the states in terms of the schooling and stuff like that. And that's something that when these people hear, oh, they dismantled the Department of Education, they don't want us to learn no more. It's not that at all. And I can get why some people would say that if they didn't do their research, but it's just to say we're going to let the states handle it, because when the states was handling it, test scores was better, kids was smarter, kids can read and write at the level that they were supposed to read and write at. You know, and that's a big problem that we have, and a big misconception as well, too. Okay?
And it's going to be disastrous for children on the spectrum. And that was terrifying. But the biggest reason that it was different than the first time he was in office is because of the Supreme Court giving him ultimate power, the powers of a king or a monarch. And that's not what the United States is all about.
Mind you, they also turned off the comments on his video, too.
In fact, what has happened
so people don't say anything. I guess you don't get any backlash.
Has been terrifying, I think, for the world and definitely for the United States of America.
You know, a lot of people did vote for him.
Yes.
Do you accept their right to do that and their opinion of him?
Well, I respect their right to do that. I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state and is also best friends, and his largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet. So I would hope that that would be investigated and that we would see whether or not it was an anomaly or something else that happened on election night in America when Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her, and Donald Trump was not able to do that. So it's curious to me, and as an American and a believer in democracy, I would hope that we would be able to look at all of the reasons why this happened in our country.
How do you think America has changed in the months since he's been elected?
Well,
and here we go. Here we go with it. This is when people lose, they typically go to using things like she filled up arenas and he couldn't fill up arenas. Okay, what's the point there? What's the point there? Donald Trump literally had 312 electoral votes, and she had 226. That is a very, very, very large margin, especially when we're talking about presidential. That is a lot. And even then, she's mad that Donald Trump almost had I believe he had 77 million votes. 77 million votes is what Donald Trump had, which is a lot of votes. And then you also had people that didn't vote that would have voted, but they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to get shamed by the people that, you know, that they knew, because they didn't want to tell them, yeah, I voted for Donald Trump. So all they did was they just went and they voted for Kamala Harris, and they really didn't want to do it. The problem that we have with this situation here is you have somebody right here on the talk show that isn't giving any props, and she's not going to give any props. I guarantee you, we watch another 30 seconds in this clip, she's not going to say that they've done anything good at all. So we have a person on a talk show that's not even willing to listen. They're just looking at it from a bad perspective because they lost. If Kamala Harris was the president, what would they expect to happen? Our country would have got ran over as if they was getting ran over with Biden. It's the truth. And to prove, watch, we're going to listen to at least 30 more seconds of what she got to say, and we're going to see if I'm right.
Well, if you talk to any Americans, they're all in shock, or at least the ones that I know. I will have to say I don't really have many people in my life that support him. I don't really understand how people could support a convicted felon and a man who has had so many charges against him and has the moral compass of a boy.
That's a good one. The first thing they say is he's a convicted felon. Misdemeanors. Okay, bet. He was a convicted felon. Has he been convicted for him? He's been a convicted felon, but they were misdemeanors. Okay? And then they go into, I don't understand. I don't understand it. Whenever somebody typically say, I don't understand it, it's because they do. They just don't care for it. Watch out for those type of people. But like I said, prove my point. She didn't say anything positive. We're going to end the video here. Make sure y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. Leave a comment down below. Also, make sure to leave a like for the algorithm. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, but it also pushes the videos, okay? For the ones that's not subscribing, you just subscribe. Welcome to the family. If you are already subscribed, I appreciate you already. Make sure you hit the notification bell, though. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Have a good evening, good day, good night, good morning, wherever y'all at, and I'll see y'all.